Nigel Farage in Parliament. I mean, there's material for you if ever there was.
Yeah, well, if you remember his performance in the European Parliament over the years, he said, I'll go there and be annoying, and he delivered on that promise, and that's what he'll do again. And it feels to me a bit like that European election where, I mean, they got, 30%? I mean, there was this vast thing, and everyone was sort of surprised and not expecting it. But in the end, it didn't turn into what they thought it would turn into. And I'm really interested in someone to say, well, how on earth will Labour, if they get a thumping majority, deal with reform? With any luck, they'll ignore them. I mean, that's the point of having an enormous majority.
Do you think that we in the liberal media elite, perhaps...
Yes, we're at the centre of bubble wokeness here.
All of that. But do we get something wrong with people like Nigel Farage? Because he says irritating things or extraordinary things, and his candidates are saying even more extraordinary things. And we kind of assume, well, that's it over for him.
Yeah.
But somehow, when it comes to these sort of elections, a lot of the public just shrugs and says, well, don't really care very much.
Yeah, and I think, he is a magnet for a certain sort of protest. And again, I was talking to people earlier this evening who said there are quite a lot of young people who think it's quite edgy to say, I'm voting reform. It marks you out as protesting against your parents, whichever way they happen to go. And no one ever felt very edgy voting Lib Dem. Sad but true. But when they get sort of 16% in the exit poll, no one says, well, I think the major parties have got to adjust themselves to deal with the Lib Dems. I mean, has anyone ever said that?
Click here to ask, should Tony Blair just shut up?